Mark Twain used artificial intelligence to write Tom Sawyer. I just made that up. But what if he did? What if he had access to artificial intelligence? This is Jack from Creating in the Second Half of Life. And all of us people over 40 and 50 in the second half of life are facing something brand new now that we've never seen before. Actually, no one's seen it before, but kind of new things to us if we get a bit older are kind of like really new because they're hard to understand. And AI is one of those things. And so creating with AI has become this thing that a lot of authors are doing. And I think some are overdoing it by letting it create the entire book. I'm not going to tell you they're right or wrong for sure. But anyway, I was wondering what would have happened if Mark Twain would have had access to it, or Shakespeare, or Chandler, or any of the other authors that we consider really good. What about Tennessee Williams? Can you imagine? Would that change things a lot for them? Would their work product be better or worse? I've got to think we'd lose something if they would have had it. Anyway, I want to have a little fun with it and say if Mark Twain had been here today, or we had gone back in time with AI and he understood it, what would it have been like for him to write Tom Sawyer with AI? He'd have to give it prompts, and anyone familiar with AI, you have to give it prompts to tell it what you want. And the more detailed your prompts are, the better off you are in getting responses that fit what you're looking at doing. And so authors are not just authors, business people are in business plans, politicians use it, scientists use it. But you have to give it the prompt to fit into what you want to have. So let's think about that for a minute. So let's say Mark Twain's sitting out in that rock. He's got himself a little laptop out there. And he's along the Mississippi River watching the river flow down. He decides he's going to write Tom Sawyer. And what's his first prompt going to be? So I came up with some ideas that maybe I think might be his prompts. And he said, the first one might be, so I'm going to write a story about Tom Sawyer trying to outsmart his Aunt Polly, focusing on clever tricks and antics that he pulls to get his way. You think that would work? I think that would help a little bit. The curiosity for me is what kind of response would AI give him? I don't know if they give it things are as humorous as he did or not. How about let's give a scene where Tom and Huck are on an adventure and they come across a mysterious figure and they write dialogue that showcases their playful natures with these mysterious figures. And these are all parts of the book if you read it. And I wonder what AI would have done there. And the reason I'm going this direction, if you stop and think about what he would have had to have written to AI to get the responses that would actually put together the book that we know today, I think it'd been impossible. I don't know how you could have replaced it, what he did, with what AI would give him. Now, having said that, I've used AI and I still use it. I use it for my editing, forming up, and I think it's done very well. I've been using Gemini and I'm using ChatGTP both. There's a lot of them out there. Those are the two I'm most familiar with. So those are the ones I've been focusing with. But I think it's very useful to you. If you want, do an experiment. Take either one you want to, or take any of the AI you want to. I talk about those two because those are the two I'm most familiar with. But you can get a free version you want to. I actually pay, I think it's $20 a month for each of them because I've used it quite a bit in editing. But anyway, if you haven't done it yet, just sit down and tell it you want to write a book and tell it what you want the book to be about. Use some detail, like I did with Tom Sawyer in this thing right here. Use some detail. Say, maybe you want to write a book about, let's see, someone building a home for the first time. And so talking about the type of lumber that they would use to build a home and who would be their architect, fill those gaps in. Or maybe you want to write about someone making a trip across the country in the Old West and talk about the Conestoga wagons and the path they're going from Iowa through Missouri, maybe up to Oregon Trail or wherever they're going to go. and tell you want to have an adventure with a bear attacking the camp at some point, and maybe someone nearly drowning as they cross the Missouri River. Be detailed with it like that. That's my point. Those ramblings I just gave you were just telling you to be detailed and tell it what you want, and then turn it loose. Turn the AI loose and see what it does. It's pretty interesting. It's almost frightening what it'll come up with. It has its quirks that don't work, in my opinion. It does repeat itself a little bit too much, but those are things you work out. You can actually go in and reform your story. Before you know it, you may have your book. It might be right there. It might be your thing. People advertise it all the time. Go out, write your book in an hour with AI. I'm not going to argue that you can't do that. You can do that. Now, ethically, is that the thing you do to sell it? I can sit here and say, I don't think it's ethical to have AI write a book and you put your name on it and then you sell it. On the other hand, AI will write crap unless you give it the information it needs to write the book. So if you want to do that, you can certainly do that. And AI will give you what you ask it for. You have to do some fixing up, but it will give you what you ask for. So is that unethical? That's way over my head. I'm not doing that. I'm going to use it to edit. It's been very good with me to edit. It's given me some good ideas, and if I get stuck, I go ahead and ask for an idea. And in this chapter, what can I do here? Do you think there's something else I could do? And I give it an idea what my plan is, and I ask for it to comment on it. It's almost like talking to a human. Kind of makes you wonder if there's some human in the back room actually answering it. Probably not. Anyway, think about it. Try it out, see what you think, and get back to me and let me know. Hey, you get a chance to subscribe or give me a like here in this channel. I'm going to keep going. I want to just talk with you about creating in the second half of life, and we'll talk about AI some more and kind of wonder what would it have been like if good old Mark Twain would have sat on that rock, put out his laptop, and hit old Chat GTP and pound away and wrote Tom Sawyer. Remember, write messy, edit clean. See you soon.